Hi friends, in this video I'm gonna be making some gingerbread trees. They come out so cute, you guys. I want to show you what I'm gonna be using to frost them. I'm gonna use this joint compound. I purchased this at Home Depot. I'm gonna start by adding the joint compound on the trees. And you guys, I think it would have been a lot easier if I just put on some gloves and I rubbed it on, because on the big set that I did at the end, I used some plastic gloves and it was a lot easier to put the compound on them. So just a little tip for you guys, if you are going to be making the trees, that I suggest you guys put on some gloves, and the application goes on a lot easier and the finish at the end is just a lot better. Once I had the tree all covered in the compound, I let it dry overnight so the next day I could sand it down. Now the next day, my trees are all dry now. I did put a fan on them this morning so they can dry just a little bit faster, because on some spots it hadn't dried fully, but they're all nice and dry. Even the cone feels a lot sturdier. So I'm just gonna sand them a little bit just with the 200 grit. I was thinking, you guys, that maybe I shouldn't gone like up and down when I was putting the, what is this called, the joint compound. Yeah, the joint compound. I should have gone like around it instead of up and down, but I'm gonna just sand it a little bit and see how it comes out. I have my cones all sanded down now. So for the frosting on the cone, I'm gonna be using the tip 4B, and I bought all of this at Hobby Lobby. I actually just purchased this cobbler. It was $1.29, and I think everything was 40% off today from like the bakery section. So I'm really excited to use this because I feel like when I don't, my bags rip a lot easier. I also picked up a pack of bags. These were $2.99 for a 12 count of bags. So I think this is gonna be really nice with the cobbler in here. Let me get the scissors. I'm gonna have to cut a big part of the bag. I already have my mix all ready from yesterday because I was working on this while I was letting that dry. So I added some white paint to it just so I can make it a little white, because it is, well, it doesn't look that bad, but in the container it looks a lot more yellow than it does white. My tip, my cobbler, my bag, I just have like a little hole in here. Just gonna put it in there. Okay guys, I have my measurements for my tree. I just want to show you guys what I'm doing here. I hope this makes sense. So my cone is 18 inches. So I measured out 18 inches here. So my gingerbread are gonna go in the white sections. So I'm gonna have 3 white sections and then the rest are gonna be brown. So I have my first brown one, the gingerbread, which is gonna be white, a brown spot again, the white spot for the gingerbread, brown, white, and then brown at the end. And then I'm gonna put frosting here at the edge of the cone. So here's my measurements. My first measurement is at 3 inches. My second one is at 5.5, 7 inches, 10.5 inches, 12 inches, 16 inches, and 18 inches. I'm putting my paper on top of my cone so like that I can have a guide of where exactly I want my marks to be. So like that I don't have to be measuring on the cone. I just think that this makes it a lot easier. All marked now. It's brown, white, brown, white, brown, white, and then brown. I'm gonna start with the classic caramel. for the second coat of paint, I did decide to go in with the darker brown, and I just used the sponge. It didn't really make a difference, you guys. I would have just used the brush, but I thought it was going to look a little bit nicer, but it really didn't. I think I should have just brushed it on and the glitter would have gone on a lot better. But I did want to tell you guys that I did use a darker shade of brown because I wasn't liking the first color of brown that you can see right here, the difference of the two. So I would recommend using like a little bit of a dark brown combined with that classic caramel. Now I'm just going to paint the other parts white because you can see that the compound was just a little bit off white. So I did want my cone to be a really bright white. So that's what I'm going to be doing here. I'm just going to paint the other sections a bright white. Okay guys, so I have both of my piping bags. This large tip is a 4B, so this is a 4B. And this small tip, it just says Wilton 32. And here's the two tips. I'm using the tip 4B just on the bottom of the cone. So like that, it can look like it has really thick frosting, but on the rest of the cone, I'm gonna be using the Wilton 32. So what I decided to do was start at one starting point every time I would start making the frosting on the cone. So like that, I could have a back to the tree and you can have like everything looking really nice on the front. So just keep that in mind when you're piping to have a starting point. Okay guys, so here's my tree all dry. You can see this is the back right here because you can see that this is where I stopped. So I try to put the back all like in a line here. So this is my front right here of my tree. I think it came out really cute. Now I'm gonna decorate it. I'm gonna be using these stickers that I got at Dollar Tree. They're just little snowflakes. And then I'm gonna be using the gingerbread from the bag that I purchased at Hobby Lobby. I'm just gonna peel it off and put it straight on there. I would probably put some glue, but I can't find my glue right now, so I'm just gonna put them on. Here's the trees all finished. I think they look beautiful, you guys. I am so happy with how they came out. I wasn't too sure if I wanted to add a star to the top, so I just left them alone. I think they look beautiful as is, but if you want, you can add like a little gingerbread star or even those white stars that I showed you guys at the beginning. I know that Hobby Lobby has like little cookie ornament stars. They didn't have them out yet at my Hobby Lobby, but I've seen them in previous years. I'm pretty sure they'll have them back this year because it seems like Hobby Lobby brings back a lot of the decor year after year. So I would keep an eye out on that if you guys are interested on adding a little star, but I think they look adorable. For this first tree, I did use an 18-inch cone. I purchased it at Hobby Lobby for $2.49. For my second tree, I'm going to be using a 12-inch cone. It cost $1.49 at Hobby Lobby. And I'm going to be using the same Wilton tip, the 32. When I got towards the top of the cone, I did have to flip it and put my hand inside of the cone so like that I can pipe the rest of it. But at the end, you guys, it came out so beautiful. I really like how it looks. I was a little bit scared of doing the top portion because it was so hard for me at the beginning, but then I just went slow, you guys. Look how slow I was going right here. This is in real motion right here where I was just going so slow, taking my time so I wouldn't mess up the swirls. But if you guys do mess up, just take it off and redo it, you guys. It's not a big deal. I had to redo some parts of it, so just keep that in mind. If you mess up, just take it off and redo it. If you guys do make this tree, I would recommend letting it dry, you guys, at least 3 days until it's completely dry, because the compound will dry like in about a day, but the cone inside stays wet. And if you don't let it dry, it starts to crack, you guys. I didn't let mine dry because I was like in a hurry to make the video. And as I was painting it, you guys will see that it starts to crack on me. So I would recommend, if you guys do make this tree, to let it completely dry, not only on the compound, but also on the inside of the cone. It starts feeling wet inside. So I would recommend at least 3 days of drying time. I'm just going to cut the top of the tree so like that I can push in the little star. And it looks really cute, you guys. I love this little tree topper star. I think it's perfect for the tree. After letting the tree dry for 1 day, I decided to paint it using a bright white color just because the color of the compound is a little bit of an off-white, and I really wanted this tree to be white. So after I added the paint, I was adding the glitter on top, and I think it looks really beautiful. This is when I noticed that my tree was cracking. Look, you can see towards the top, the more I moved it, the more it cracked. So I had to really slow down, you guys, but I do recommend for you guys to let it completely dry. To decorate my trees, I purchased some polymer clay, and I'm just going to be making some candies. The polymer clay does go on sale at Hobby Lobby for 40% off, and I just bought this Crafters brand. I think it was $1.49, $1.69 for some of them, but I just purchased a lot of different colors because I did buy an extruder and I want to make some sprinkles as well. So all of the little tools that you're seeing here came with my extruder. I'll include that in the description box if you guys are interested. I'll include a link for you guys. I'm going to start by cutting a little piece of clay, and I have this like plexiglass. It was a picture frame, you guys, and I ended up using it. It worked great, but you can just roll it out with your hands. It comes out just as fine as well, but I had this, so I decided to use it. So I'm going to be rolling out this red color, and then I'm going to be also rolling out a white one because we're going to be making some candy canes. And you guys, I'm using the red and white clay to show you guys because I made a lot of candies for another tree, but this video is getting so long that I decided to split them up. So there will be another video coming with 2 more trees that I've been working on. So that's why you'll notice that my clay is the red and white instead of the pink and white. But just keep that in mind that I'm working on some other trees to show you guys. They come out so cute, you guys. I'm so excited for you guys to see all of them. For this next candy, we're going to be making a lollipop. It's going to be the same process. We're going to roll out our colors that we choose for our candies, and then we're just going to blend them together. That's what I'm doing right here. For the next candy, I'm just going to be making a donut using the brown clay. I'm going to cut a little piece off, cut it into 3, and then make them into little balls. And then I am going to squish them down just a little bit so I can get that shape of the donut. And I'm going to be using those tools that I told you that came with the extruder to be making the little center hole for the donut. For this tree, I'm going to be using the little clay candies that I made. I'm just gluing them on with hot glue. They're just little candy canes and lollipops. And then at the end, I just ended up pushing like little pieces of clay into the tree, like if they were little ornaments. I didn't record that, but you guys will see that at the end when I show you how the tree looks.